Ye unite, oh, ye unite, yeah, when we unite, you are welcome here, love is welcome here, peace is welcome here. Welcome here, you are welcome here. Love is welcome here, peace is welcome here. You are welcome here. Good morning, Unity. We welcome to Unity of Wichita. Those that are here and those that are watching by YouTube and Facebook, I'm told. We are beautiful. We are powerful. And because of that, we are also bountiful. In spirit, we are beautiful. We are powerful. We're bountiful. Everything that we need is supplied. There is no lack. Spirit, we are beautiful. Spirit, we are beautiful. Here in the light that surrounds us, we are beautiful. Spirit, we are powerful. Spirit, we are powerful. Trusting in the mind that guides us, we are powerful. Spirit, we are bountiful. Spirit, we are bountiful. Thank you for the life that sustains us. We are bountiful. Spirit, we are beautiful. Feel free to join if you'd like. Spirit, we are beautiful. Here in the light that surrounds us, we are beautiful. Spirit, we are powerful. Spirit, we are powerful, trusting in the mind that guides us. We are powerful. We are bountiful. Spirit, we are bountiful. Life that sustains us, we are bountiful. Spirit, beautiful. Spirit, powerful. Spirit, beautiful. Spirit, sing with me, Spirit, beautiful. Spirit, powerful. Oh, Spirit, beautiful. Spirit, bountiful.
Good morning. My goodness. We are beautiful, bountiful, powerful. Do you feel that? All right, so let's say it together. With some power, take a big deep breath all the way down into your, uh-oh, I'm caught. I am beautiful. Say it with me. I am beautiful. Take a deep breath. I am powerful. Big deep breath. Powerful. Another big deep breath, and we'll go with bountiful. I am bountiful. Yes. And all of this is because we are one with the one, right? We are one with the one. So good morning, Unity of Wichita. As we come into this morning, there's the first thing that I want to say is that it is a beautiful day in my consciousness. And I say that because we are joined this morning by Reverend Dr. Paul Hasselbeck. He is here to share the message this morning. We have Mr. Huron Barreau offering music, Brian on sound, and Jessica on video. And of course, my name is Samantha Jones, and I am the spiritual leader here at Unity of Wichita. Welcome. So this morning, we want to talk about divine order. That is the power of September. So the co-founder of the Unity Movement, Charles Fillmore, identified and discerned these 12 spiritual faculties that all people possess. And in September, we mention order. Divine order is that ability to organize, itemize. Any others? Prioritize, sequence, adjust. Coming from the man who wrote the book. And so as we explore our divine order, we know that we are exploring that not only in our human experience, but also through our spiritual divine experience, that we have the power of divine order working in, through, and as us throughout our entire day, whether we are conscious or not. We can choose to move through that space. And so we take this moment to take a deep breath as we share our mission statement together. Inspiring spiritual transformation as a vibrant, diverse, and inclusive community. Do you guys ever come in on Sunday morning and say to yourself, today, I am going to focus on inspiring spiritual transformation one time? Or do you wake up on Monday morning and say, today I will focus on that within myself or someone else? That is our collective mission together, that we inspire spiritual transformation. Yes. And so together, let us also share our statement of being. If you would like to place your hand over your heart, feel your breath. There is only one presence and one power in my life and in the universe, God the good, omnipotent. Feels good. Feels good. So this morning, I would like to welcome anyone that is here for the first time or for the first time in a long time, whether you're here in person or you're watching online. We're so glad that you're here. If you're in the sanctuary, in front of you, you will find a packet that looks very much like this, and there is a sheet on the front of it that if you would like to fill that out to stay connected with us, you can certainly do so and place it in the offering plate as it goes through, because your presence is your gift to us today. And if you are watching online for the first time, please leave a message in the chat and we will connect with you. So, this would be a wonderful time for you to silence your cell phone if you haven't already. And we want to take a moment to honor and celebrate each person that is here today. So if you will join me in raising your hands and join me in sharing this blessing for one another. We bless you, we love you, we appreciate you, and we behold the Christ as you, just as you are. It always feels good to receive that blessing, knowing that that is each one of us loving, celebrating, and supporting one another in this moment. In this day, those of us that are here in person and those of us that are online. And we do so through prayer support as well. So if you are in the sanctuary, you'll see in front of you that there are prayer slips. Those would go into the prayer box directly in the back of the room. That is where I will check them and hold them in prayer for the next 30 days. And after that, we'll forward them on to Silent Unity, which is our international prayer support line in Unity Village, Missouri. And that will be held in prayer for an additional 30 days. So I invite you to join me in prayer this morning as we hold those people in our hearts, those situations, those prayer requests. We lift up Patty Russell as she continues her recovery from hip surgery. We continue to hold Cheryl Hamilton and Helen Dirksen and the family of Helen's son, who made his transition 2 weeks ago. We continue to hold in our hearts Ann Sanchez's family, and all those other requests as we move into the space of sacred silence and moments together. I invite you to close your eyes and take a deep breath. As you call upon the awareness of the divine presence that is God, within your own heart and mind, in this physical space, we call upon the awareness of God. We affirm in this moment the truth of love, comfort, wisdom, and power that God brings us in our hearts, in our hands, and in our minds. We know that as we breathe in this moment, so too is the presence of God breathing in, through, and as us supporting ourselves and one another, lifting up those in our hearts and in our minds. We envelop them in the illuminating light of God. And as we affirm in this moment the truth that God is everywhere, completely present, even in those challenging moments and situations, we affirm that as we just sit in the silence for a moment of prayer. We are so very grateful for this presence of God that is only but a breath away from our awareness. Always present, always speaking to us, through us, and as us. We are so very grateful. And together we say, and so it is. Amen.
Breath of God is breathing me and resting in the breath of God. I know that all is well. The breath of God is breathing me and resting in the breath of God. Loving me is loving God, and know that all is well. I know that all is well. Oh, the breath of God is breathing me, and resting in the breath of God, I know that all is well. I know that all is well. I know that all is well. I know that all is well.
Good morning. I am Judith Huffman, and I will be leading us this morning in our affirmations and in our meditation. If you will affirm with me the affirmations, and we will say each affirmation 2 times before we go to the next one. So the first affirmation together. Putting God first brings order to one's life. Again, putting God first brings order to one's life. Life flows when centered in God. Life flows when centered in God. And all is well, and all is well. And so if you will join me now in this sacred time of meditation as we go within to feel that sense of oneness and connection with the divine presence, feeling the breath of God moving through us as we relax into our chairs and allow ourselves to simply be in the divine flow of this moment. For all is as it should be. And gently close your eyes or dim your focus. Breathe deeply, allowing yourselves to move from the outer awareness to that inner space where you connect with your divine presence within. And so as we go into this time of meditation, let us focus again on the affirmations. Putting God first brings order to my life. Sometimes life is very challenging and difficult. Sometimes there are circumstances that seem to knock us off balance. But Jesus reminded us to always put the kingdom first, to put our awareness of God first, and to remember our oneness, that we are not separate, but we are one. The Father and I are one. And so when we create this order in our lives, we experience a greater sense of flow in our lives. We align our will with God's will. For that which we desire, God also desires for us. It is not always to keep aligned with that divine presence. It is not always to be in the center of our consciousness, that awareness that God is always present. And God is present in all circumstances. But when we're able to do that, we feel a greater sense of peace. We release any need to resist what is going on and fight against it, or making judgments about other people and what they are doing. For there's no need to separate ourselves from one another. For the divine presence is within each one of us. And we behold that presence even when we're struggling, when we're making poor choices, when we're not seeing the light in one another. So how is it that we stay focused and centered in God consciousness? You may have your own answer to that question of what you use, what tools you use. But for me, prayer is one of the most important things. Prayer reminds me of who I am, that I am one in God, and there can be no separation. And all that God is are my gifts as well. So keeping thoughts centered on God is a way of praying without ceasing. Another step I use is giving thanks. Giving thanks in all circumstances. Now that's a challenging one. Sometimes it's hard to give thanks when situations don't look so good, or when we're being challenged. But to give thanks for everything, the good as well as the challenges. For with challenges we grow. Seeing God in everyone also helps me keep centered on that idea that I'm not separate from God, and neither is anyone that I love or anyone anywhere. And sometimes just positive statements, affirmations of truth, keep me centered in that consciousness of God. To affirm my good, to affirm my oneness, to affirm this all is in the divine flow, and I need not resist, but I just flow with it. And to feel deeply that divine connection. I like the words of Martha Beck, who said, "Be like the water. Be fluid. Flow. Allow things to be as they are and people to be as they are. Do not resist. Be stillness. In troubled times, be still. When times are troubled, we often want to walk by the still waters and to find peace. Be reflective as water is. Reflect upon all the good. Reflect upon what's happening and look for the good. Know that God is present. So all is in order as we allow ourselves to flow and not resist and not fight against the current, but simply to flow. Take a moment now to commit yourself to being in the flow and going with the flow. Stay in the divine flow. Do not allow yourself to get separated. And if by chance that happens, simply bring your conscious awareness back to God, to your oneness, and to your divine connection. And very gently now, allow yourself to return to this space and be in this present moment and flow.
I don't know about tomorrow. I just live from day to day. I don't borrow from its sunshine, for its skies may turn to gray. I don't worry over the future, for I know what Spirit said. And today I walk in Spirit, for Spirit knows what is ahead. Every step is getting brighter as the golden stairs I climb, and every burden's getting lighter, and every cloud is silver lined. There in that space the sun is always shining, and there no tear dims the eye. For at the end of the rainbow, I see the mountains touch the sky. Many things about tomorrow I don't seem to understand, but I know who holds my future, and Spirit and I progress hand in hand. Oh, many things about tomorrow I don't seem to understand, but I know who holds 'cause Spirit knows tomorrow, and Spirit and I walk hand in hand. Be willing to let go of everything you think you need to know. Be strong enough to let go of everything you think you need to control. For everything goes away. Let everything wash away the power of now. The power of now.
Thank you. Good morning, Unity of Wichita. And yes, it is another beautiful day in my consciousness. What about you? Yes. So let's say it together. It's another beautiful day in my consciousness. And yes, indeed, as Huron just sang, the power is in now. There's no more power in yesterday, and there's no power in the future. All the power that there is right here and right now. And there's huge power in a question, isn't there? In fact, I had one spiritual teacher tell me, Paul, don't rush to the answer, because all the power is in the question. So today's question is, what if we got it wrong? Or how about, what if I got it wrong? Have you ever asked that? Well, I try to ask that question when I'm getting in one of those conversations with somebody that's getting, let's say, a little testy, where I am sure I'm right, and I'm just as sure the other person is wrong. Have you ever done that? Yeah. Well, in that moment, if we ask ourselves, what if I got it wrong? Which leads to the next question. Help me understand you. Help me understand your point of view as a way to build a bridge, as maybe a way to love that other person. What if we got it wrong? Which connects to one of my other statements you've heard a lot, you've seen on the screen, questioning unquestioned answers is as important as getting answers to our questions. Maybe a little bit more important, because we are carrying around a lot of questions within us that are basically a belief system. And some of those beliefs were shared with us, and then we took them on, especially as children. And maybe it's time we question some of those beliefs. Well, I have with me here my handy holy tablet. I'm glad they weren't like Moses' tablet. And so, think way, 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 way back in time. In 1543, Copernicus published a book on the revolutions of the celestial spheres. Copernicus Copernicus was asking a question. What if the geocentric model of the universe was wrong? Which was the common point of view at that time. And ironically, now that was 1543, ironically, way back around 300 BC, a famous Greek man already questioned that answer. And he already figured out that everything doesn't go around the earth. Everything goes. Let me change that, because it seems that way with the solar system. That the earth is not the center of the universe, at least our solar system. The sun is the center. And that's what's called the heliocentric model. Now Copernicus had the good fortune to publish that and die a few years later. Now, why was that a good thing? Well, because along comes Galileo, who agrees with Copernicus, writes another book, and writes a book that's right smack in the face of the religious leaders of his time. Here's what they did. They put him before the Roman Inquisition for questioning that answer of the church. That answer that said the earth was the center of everything. And here's what they found out. Heliocentrism was foolish, absurd, and heretical. Why? Because it went against the Holy Bible. It contradicted Scripture. And so do you know what happened to Galileo? House arrest for the rest of his life for daring to question unquestioned answers. And let me remind you that Galileo was the father of observational astronomy, modern physics, the scientific model, and modern science. So maybe it was good that Galileo had to stay home. But there have been people over time who have always questioned the answers society and the church were giving them. And I believe that's how New Thought and Unity and the other flavors of New Thought came into existence. They dared to question, was the current church's answers correct? Were they correct? And because of that tension that built up around Galileo, there were centuries of conflict between science and religion. They were never thought to be compatible. Have you heard of that? Yeah, that there was this idea that science and the church couldn't be compatible because science was disagreeing with Scripture. So along came this group of peoples in the late 1800s when science was coming on strong, where people were discovering things that had never been discovered before. And these folks, these New Thought folks, our precursors, looked at science as maybe a model for religion. And so we had the birth of Christian science, divine science, religious science, and unity. Well, they tried to call it Christian Science. And the Christian scientists just weren't into it. And so the interesting thing that even today, the church and science continue to be in a conflict sometimes. But in unity and New Thought, there is never a conflict between the two. In fact, they answered a lot of questions. They wondered whether God was a deity. They wondered about heaven. They wondered about hell. They wondered if Jesus was the only child of God. They wondered if Jesus was their Savior. And they wondered if they were born sinners. They began to ask those questions in the context of science. And so they perceived that God isn't an entity, a deity, a god, or a goddess. They perceive that there is this thing called principle that perceives the universe. And just as there are laws that govern many, many arenas, there are also laws that govern mind. Capital M mind and little m mind. And so through their questioning, they created a belief system where heaven is not a place that we go as a reward, that hell isn't a place we go as a punishment, that Jesus isn't the only child of God, that Jesus isn't the only person that can save you, and most importantly, we are not born sinners. We were not born broken. We were not the scum of the earth. Now you can imagine that when we did believe some of that stuff, that there might be some fears that arose. Yes? Yes. In fact, the irony is we were told that God was a God of love, but yet we're being manipulated by fear. And I've wondered about that. So, about 3 years ago, I was teaching an SCE week at Unity of Dallas. And I was asked to give a sermon about the metaphysics around this abnormal reality we were living in, called the pandemic. And I thought, one thing I have to address for sure is fear. And many of you know that in a period of time, for many years when I lived in San Juan, Puerto Rico, I was a teacher of A Course in Miracles. And I knew there was a really important paragraph in that teaching that was about fear. And the basic idea that the Course in Miracles puts forth is that we, humankind, make up fear as a way to hide love's presence. Well, my first question is, why would we do that? And then it went on to say that then when we experience fear, we can use that as an affirmation that love is present. Because if fear was made to hide love, then whenever fear was there, then love was be there. Does that make sense? And the thing is, when we are fearful, sometimes we're not connected with love, are we? Sometimes we can't even feel the sense of love. But as I prepared that lesson, and that idea kept recirculating in my consciousness. You ever have that happen? It just kept going. I kept questioning it. Well, and it was in the preparation of that Sunday lesson that I perceived something very new. I questioned whether fear hid love's presence or not. I questioned whether fear and love were truly opposites. Have you been taught that? That fear and love are opposites? And that there's only two emotions, really? Love and fear? Have you, yeah, right? Well, I questioned that. And here's what I discovered. Fear is manifested from the presence of love. Fear is evidence of love's presence. Here's why. Let me find this quote on my holy tablet. Let's see, where are you? So science tells us fear arises with the threat of harm, either physical, emotional, or psychological, real or imagined. And when that happens, when we perceive a threat, that little part of our brain, you've heard me talk about the amygdala, well, it's always asking two questions. Am I safe? Do I matter? Am I safe? Do I matter? And when the answer to those, either one or both, is no, the amygdala starts that flood of chemistry through us to get us ready for fight, flight, freeze, or please. That's what is commonly called the fight or flight response. And then I saw it even more clearly. I looked at my own life. Look at your own life right now. When are the times that you're afraid? You're afraid when you think there's going to be harm to you or a friend or a relative that you love. We get afraid if a storm's approaching and there might be a tornado. Again, we're afraid for our lives. We're afraid for our friends. We're afraid for the possessions we love. And so then, fear cannot exist if we didn't love. Isn't that amazing? And doesn't that shift things for you? It shifted for me. So then, because I questioned that answer, whenever I am afraid now, I ask another question. What am I loving right now? Who am I loving right now? And that makes the shift from fear to love easy. Because I've identified the source of the fear. Now, I'm not saying love manifests fear. I'm saying because I love, I fear. So lately, I've been questioning another answer. One that you can find throughout almost every religion, at least any of the ones I've looked at. And that answer is making ourselves good enough so we can escape our human existence. Have you ever noticed that? That every spiritual philosophy, going all the way back to the Egyptians, was about escaping this human existence. And what does that do within you? Have you ever noticed? It subtly makes being human bad. Being human is something for us to escape. Now, it seems like Charles Fillmore and our New Thought founders, including Myrtle, solved that problem, saying that we were born good. That we didn't have original sin, we were born with original goodness. And friends, that's what I thought for a long time. But that original goodness is not referring to our humanity, it's referring to our divinity. So even in New Thought, we have remnants and leftovers of this idea that being human is wrong and bad. In the 12 Powers, Charles talked about degeneration, which was about a fall in consciousness, that we humans had a fall in consciousness. And the 12 Powers are all about regenerating Christ's consciousness so that we can escape being human. He doesn't say it that way, but it's clearly implied. And so, just as the founders of New Thought challenged the religion of their day, we must challenge the religion and spiritual philosophy of our day by questioning the answers we've been given, including those from the Right Reverend Dr. Paul Hasselbeck. Reincarnation is all about a Sisyphus exercise of coming back over and over and over again until we get it right. So I'm questioning that, folks. And the best answer I have right now is I am a threefold being. I am divine. I am consciousness. And I'm human. I have a physical body. And all three are good. Yes. Can we have an amen? And maybe it's not about escaping our humanity. Maybe what we do, maybe what we're here for is to fully live. Yes? And that since there is evidence of reincarnation, maybe we do come back over and over again. But it's not to be better. It's to live fully. To live fully. You have an opportunity to love fully. But I'm no longer looking to escape my humanity. I'm looking to embrace my humanity and embrace your humanity. In our divinity, we are identical. In our humanity, we are
Referring to our
wondrously
humanity,
distinct.
it's
Look
referring
around.
to our
Can you really
divinity.
look at somebody and say, we're one, and talking about your body and your
even
personality?
the original
we
goodness
have
is
remnants
not-
and
let's
leftovers
celebrate that.
of this idea that being human. And as we
talking
move
about your
forward,
body and
let's
your
even
personality.
question
We have-
that answer. Because there may be a deeper one. And so I invite you all to take a deep breath. Notice you are fully human and you are fully divine. And feel gratitude for that answer. And so
Because
you are, there may
and
be,
so
I am, and so it is. And so I invite you all to take a deep breath. Samantha, I invite
so
you
it
to the
is.
platform with me. And so I invite
You're in
you all to
charge.
take a deep breath. Samantha, I invite
so
you
it
to the
is.
platform with me. And so I
You're in
invite you all to
charge.
take a deep
Uh-oh.
Samantha, I invite you to the platform with me. And so
You're in charge.
And so, in this moment, we have a wonderful opportunity to welcome some new members. And to welcome this morning, I'm going to share with them some certificates. Some certificates of membership, as well as ask all of you, the community here at Unity of Wichita, to share in this welcome of the new members. So today we are welcoming a transfer from Unity of Mesa. We have Don Vulcan. You may stand if you're comfortable. You may stand if you're comfortable. Welcome to Unity of Wichita. Welcome to Unity of Wichita. Sheila Pilger, excuse me. Sheila Bilger, the Sheila Bilger. I need to leave this first. Excuse me. Sorry, guys. The Sheila Bilger. I need to leave this first. Excuse me. Sorry, guys. And then we have two more. One of which is not available to be here today. And so we will just celebrate her in spirit. And she assures me that she will meet everyone herself. Her name is Tamra Whitbeck, and many of you already know her. And the final new member that we want to celebrate, and she's kind of busy, so she can't come up, but her name is Jessica Maldonado. So as we go through this,
Woohoo!
yes, woo! We go through this.
Woohoo!
Yes. So as we go through this new member covenant, I would invite you to speak along with me as the community here listens to these words and responds with the message on the screen. So the first is, I understand and align with the basic teachings of unity. I understand that unity is based on the life and teachings of Jesus Christ. And we together will say, we support you. I do my part to support the mission of inspiring spiritual transformation as a vibrant, diverse, and inclusive community. And we together say, we celebrate the Christ you are. I hold the vision with Unity of Wichita. We envision a spiritually awakening world centered in love. We love you. I include Unity of Wichita and her members in my daily prayer life. We affirm the oneness we share together. And finally, I commit to share my time, talent, and treasure to ensure the continued work of Unity of Wichita in my life and community. Welcome to Unity of Wichita. That gives me a little bit of a chill. It reminds me of the first time that I was welcomed to Unity of Wichita as a new member. This is a very special community that in our Wichita community is known as the Friendly Church, the church where everyone comes and showers you with love and hugs and good mornings. And would you like coffee and oh, the cookies are over here. So, thank you. Thank you for your willingness to join this community, to support its movement forward. We love you, we celebrate you, and we are so grateful for your presence. Welcome. And the time has come that I would like to invite the ushers forward to receive the offering. As you prepare your tithes and offering, we are holding in our hearts and minds that very mission that we just spoke once more, that we are in that free flow of generosity, of giving and receiving to support the inspiring of spiritual transformation as that presence of God that we are. Come on, right up here. That we are is being communicated through our gifts. Welcome to Pauletta and Rebecca. It's wonderful to have new ushers. Thank you. And so please join me as we share our offering blessing together. Divine love flowing from me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I give, all that I receive, and I am grateful. PayPal. So let us together, let's warm up our hands once more. As we warm up our hands, we're also warming up our hearts and our minds as we draw upon that inner presence of God to be expressed and communicated through our humanity, through the currency of energy that we are able to use as humanity, this presence of finance. We bless these gifts knowing that we are in that free flow of giving and receiving. And as we give, we open our hearts and minds to the beauty, the presence, and the power that is God, our source for all things. And we are so very grateful. And so it is. Thank you. Great job. Thank you, ladies. We appreciate you. So the first announcement today, come on down, Mr. Donner. The first announcement this morning is that if you sent us an email this last week, you probably didn't get a reply.
Actually, you did.
Oh, you did? Okay, great.
Response said undeliverable.
Oh, turn it on. We had some problems with our email, so if you had a communication that you wanted to get to us, please be sure, come on back this way. Come on back this way. Please be sure to include another forward so that we are sure to get your communication. Thank you.
Okay, since Paul used his notebook, I'm going to try reading off my phone this morning. Okay, a week from today is the Pride Parade and Expo downtown. There is parade lineup between 12 and 12:30. We have some folks walking in the parade. Word has it that we will have a decorated pickup truck as part of the parade. There's nothing in here that indicates who's driving the pickup. The parade walk begins at 1 o'clock. We're putting together a number of items to be tossed during the parade and also to have at our booth. We're looking for volunteers. There are 3 time slots, 12 to 2, 2 to 4, 4 to 6, where we're looking for support in this event. Eleanor Ferris has been in fellowship all morning working on that. So if you would like to help, please talk with Eleanor following service. Not this week, but the following week. Spirit groups will pick up again. Alternative and empowering prayer will be a spirit group that will be led by Judith Huffman. It will be on Tuesdays from 1 to 2:30. So the first installment will be Tuesday, September 27th. And that spirit group will be offered by Zoom only, beginning on Wednesday, September 28th from 7:30 to 8:30 p.m. in the evening. Eleanor Ferris will be leading a spirit group concerning Unity's 5 principles. That is a very good spirit group. I happened to have the opportunity to take that the last time we did that. This week, on Tuesday from 6 to 9, will be Creation Station. We will, the participants will be painting diamonds, I believe it is. So if you'd like to take part in that, that is this Tuesday from 6 to 9.
Actually, we won't be covering up the natural beauty of diamonds, but they will be doing what's called diamond painting, which you'll see some examples in the gallery.
Didn't I say diamonds painting?
No.
as I mentioned, when you sent an email this week, you got undeliverable. And that's all I have.
Thank you. One final announcement. Usually, it's the last Saturday of the month is adult game night here at Unity of Wichita. Because we will be at the Pride Festival, what we would like to do is invite you to join us at our table, and we may have a couple of games happening on Saturday evening at the Pride Festival, so be sure and check that out. At this moment, I would like to invite us to stand as we share in our closing prayer, the prayer of protection. Just see one another. Just look around, see one another. If you're online, we're looking at you. We're holding you in our hearts. As we say together, the light of God surrounds us. I am light. The love of God enfolds us. I am love. The power of God protects us. I am power. The presence of God watches over us. I am presence. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well.